So here we're just going to take a look at the difference between the T18 and the PDC 18. They share a couple of things in common because they're the standard T-mode drills and they're also on the standard 18-volt platform. But there are a couple of things that when you're making your decision, such as size. So we've got a bigger tool in the PDC than the T18, and that also goes to its weight. So with the T18, it's coming in around about 200 grams lighter than the PDC. The speeds, that's a factor because that gets you back to your applications, and we've got twice as much speed with the PDC as we have the T18. Also a system of chucks. So some chucks they share, which can be fitted to both drills. Others have got the chucks that can only be fitted to that individual drill. And of course, with the PDC, we've also got the benefit there of being able to do masonry applications with percussion. So this guide will just give you a bit of an idea on those key differences. So you can see with the two drills side by side, the physical size of it, we've got a larger machine with the PDC, and this is because we have got a larger gearbox, and with this particular model we have got the percussion as well, so slightly longer and also a little bit wider through there as well. As for weight, we reduce the weight in the T18 for that reason. So we've got the PDC, which comes in around about 2 kilos with a 5.2 amp hour battery, and the T18 at 1.8 kilos. So you've got about 200 grams lighter there. We have got batteries, of course, larger and more compact batteries. So we've got options there to also reduce the weight. So when looking at the speeds between the two drills, with our T18, we've got a 2-speed gearbox, and with our PDC, we've got a 4-speed gearbox. So we've got over twice the speed in the PDC as we have the T18, which is going to open up a few other applications. But of course, there's a bit more weight because it's a bigger gearbox. So firstly, with our first speed setting with our T18, this will give us an RPM of 450. And then to our second gearbox setting, which will be 1500. When we look at the PDC, that's giving us on first speed 400 RPM. On our second speed, 850. The third speed is 1850, and finally the fourth speed is 3800 RPM. With both of the tools, they've got the option to use it in full torque mode, or also when we set a particular torque if we're trying to drive screws to a certain depth. And with our T18 here, we've got a lever on the top, which we can use on the right hand side for when we're driving screws to the same depth, and then if we do need to put it into full torque, we can then put it onto the drill mode and then go back to our original setting on the screw mode. So the speeds do differ quite a bit between the two drills. So when we have a look at the chuck system, and the chucks are all designed to do tough applications a lot easier, you can see on the face of the two drills that we have got a different interface. So this has got our normal fast fix chuck, and then it's interlocked around the outside. So on this one, we've got a fast fix as well, but it's also got a different locking system onto the chuck. So this is what dictates what chucks can be fitted to what drills. So they do share the same as having a Centratec chuck that can fit the T18, the standard fast fix chuck, and the depth stop. We'll also have an offset chuck to drive into corners, a right angle chuck, and also another depth stop. So these are the whole series of chucks that we can fit to that. When we look at the PDC, it's got a different interface. So we've got a right angle chuck that we can fit to that. We can also fit the standard depth stop because it's got the same fitting as a chuck, the normal fast fix chuck, and the Centratec. So there are some that they share that are common, and others only fit that particular that particular drill. When you're trying to make a decision because of the amount of chucks that are available for the drills, you can see here that both have got the right angle attachment, so that's covered. The depth stop here, there's two depth stops. This one fits both drills. This one only fits the T18, but you're covered for the depth stop side of it as well. And both the Fast Fix chuck and the Centratec chuck fit both machines as well. So I suppose the only one that would position you one way or the other would be the offset chuck, the eccentric chuck. That only fits this one, and ideally where we need to get right tight into corners, this is where that comes into it. But you can see that you're covered in most applications with the other chucks anyway. So this is just explaining the difference with the interface and how the chucks fit. So for example, with our T18 chucks, we've got the little segments that will lock into that, and that allows us to drop that on. We can then move that round to wherever we want to use it, and we can lock it up just with the collar. And then this will allow us to put our drive bits directly into there to be able to use that. So there's one chuck. And with our standard chuck, that's got the green sleeve, so that allows us to lock it onto both chucks for a Fast Fix. And with the right angle attachment for the PDC, you can see it's got a little lever in there. So all we do is we just pull that back. We can then pop that onto the drill, and then we can again run our bits or our chucks directly off that. Another key difference between the two drills is when you're making a decision if you want to do any masonry applications. So we don't do this with the T18 at all, but with the PDC on the top here, we've got our normal drill mode and then our percussion mode, and we can move through the gearboxes. And once we've got that on the 4-speed, that enables the beats per minute or the hit rate to be 76,000 beats per minute, which is extremely fast in the masonry. So obviously with that too, that goes towards having a slightly larger drill, but again opens up masonry applications. Just a couple of other differences between the two drills. We've got the LED light to illuminate if you're in a cabinet or something like that with a bit of light, and every time we turn the T18 on, the light will come on. The PDC is a little bit different because it's operated from the front, so we don't have to have that light on, but if we do need it, we can push that and that LED will again shine up to there. So there's a little bit of difference with the LED lights where we can switch that on and off to suit, and that's just an LED indicator talking about the battery. The other one is a belt hook. So with the T18, we've got a belt hook that we can fit either to the left or right hand side of the machine, whereas with our PDC we've got a belt hook that links out on that side as well as this side, so that stays there as standard. And the last one is a handle. So because of the torque with the PDC, we can also fit an extra handle there just where we're in high torque applications to give us something else to hold on to. So this will give you a bit of an idea on the similarities as well as the differences between the two drills, and they are the size, the weight, the speeds, the system of the chucks that can fit them, and also ideally having percussion with the PDC.